Arkadaşlar, hepiniz hoş geldiniz. Academix'in bu hafta ve önümüzdeki hafta boyunca gerçekleştireceği webinar serilerinden bugün 3. gün. Bugün İtalya başta olmak üzere dünyanın sayılı moda okullarından birisi olan, moda tasarım okullarından birisi olan Domus Academy bizlerle birlikte olacak. Zaten program içerikleriyle alakalı ya da kabul koşulları vesaire bu gibi konularla ilgili bütün her şeyi ele almaya çalışacağız. Kabul koşulları, olası burs alternatifleri ya da işte eğitim sonrası sizi bekleyen fırsatlar ve okulla alakalı genel bilgileri bulabileceğiniz bir sunum olacak. Konuklarımızdan Elif Hanım tercüme kısmını sormuş. Aslında bunu etkinliğin davetiye kısmında belirtmiştik. Sunum İngilizce olacak. Ama sunum esnasında sorularınız olursa chatten bana yazabilirsiniz. Sorularınızı İngilizceye çevirebilirim ya da çok önemli kısımlarda araya girerek Türkçe'ye çevirebilirim. Ama onun dışında maalesef ki simultane bir tercüme imkanı bugün için mevcut değil. Academix ile ilgili bahsetmem gerekirse 1996 yılında kurulan bir yurt dışı eğitim firmasıyız. Yani sene içerisinde yaklaşık 3000 civarında öğrenciyi yurt dışına gönderiyoruz ki bunlardan en fazla çalıştığımız ülkelerden birisi de İtalya ki bugün keza Domus Academy'de de bundan bahsedeceğiz. Bu anlamda Türkiye'de 14 şubeyle hizmet veren büyük bir firmayız. Keza 2017, 18 ve 19'da olmak üzere sektörün Oscar'ı gibi düşünebilirsiniz. Star Awards tarafından Doğu Avrupa'nın Star Ajantası olarak ödüllendirildik. Bu anlamda bu sene de finale kaldık. İnşallah bu sene de başarımızı devam ettirme şansımız olacak. En iyi fiyat garantisini ücretsiz bir danışmanlıkla sunmaya sağlıyoruz. Zaten hani genellikle öğrencilerden gelen sorulardan bir tanesi acentalarla mı yapsak, kendimiz mi yapsak kısmında oluşuyor. Genellikle acentalarla süreci ilerlettiğiniz zaman olası burs alternatiflerinden ya da özel fiyatlardan faydalanma şansınız oluyor ki ve bununla alakalı bizden herhangi bir ekstra ücret talebi size olmuyor. Kendinize başvuru yaptığınızda ne ödeyeceksiniz? Belki de daha aşağısına ücretsiz bir danışmanlık alarak Academix'e ilerletme şansınız olacak. Şubelerimizden bahsetmek gerekirse aslında katılımcılara baktığında Türkiye'ye çok yayılmış bir şekilde bugün katılımcılarımız var. O yüzden ekranda gördüğünüz lokasyonlardan şehrinizde bulunanı ya da size en yakın olanı seçebilirsiniz ki zaten etkinlik sonrasında da size en yakın şubedeki danışmanlarımız size ulaşarak varsa sorularınızı yanıtlamaya çalışacaklar. Hani bugün İngilizce kısmında zorluk yaşayan kişiler olursa da etkinlik sonrasında danışmanlarımız size dönüş yaptığında da aklınıza takılan soruları onlara da sorabilirsiniz. Biz zaten akademik olarak dil okulları, yaz okulları, lise değişim programları, 0. yıl adına verdiğimiz bir nevi foundation hazırlık programları yardımcı oluyoruz. Yurt dışında üniversite, master, sertifika, summer session programları, sınav hazırlık kursları ve vize gibi imkanlarda da Academix'ten hizmet alabiliyorsunuz 1996 yılından beri. Bunun dışında bugün haricinde zaten yaklaşık 7 webinarımız daha olacak ki bunun devamı da mümkün olabilir. Keza yarın Almanya'dan bir üniversiteyi, yine moda alanında imkanlar bulabileceğiniz Almanya'dan bir üniversite olan Makromedya Üniversitesi'ni ağırlayacağız. Keza Cuma günü de Fransa'dan bir business okulu olan Burgundy School of Business ve önümüzdeki haftada ekrandan göreceğiniz diğer etkinliklerimiz olacak. Birden fazla etkinliğe de kayıt yaptırabilirsiniz. Hatta dün katılan arkadaşlarımız da var aramızda. Onlara da teşekkür ediyoruz geldikleri için. Benim şimdilik söyleyebileceğim aslında çok da fazla bir şey yok. Kısa bir brief vermek istedim. Sitemizden size en yakın şubenin iletişim bilgilerini görebilirsiniz. Ben çok da fazla vaktinizi almadan direkt Davide'ye sözü paslayacağım. Muhtemelen Paolo bize bir giriş yapacak. Davide, I think I just finished my turn and I'm passing it to you.
Okay, so thank you very much for the introduction. It was in Turkish, so I didn't understand anything, but it's fine. Guys, thank you very much for attending this presentation. Let me leave the stage to Paola, my colleague in charge to support Turkey. So she will join the presentation of the Domus Academy, and then at the end, any kind of questions you can have related to Domus Academy, our courses, please feel free to do it. Thank you very much. Ciao, Paola.
Okay, so hello everyone. My name is Paola. I'm part of the admission team here in Milan. I'm very glad to be here today. to share a little bit about Domus Academy. I think you see my screen, right?
Yes.
Nice. Okay, so I will have a first part that it's a little bit of an introduction. So you will see. 1 second. Okay. Okay. So as you can see here, we have a little bit of history. So Domus Academy was founded in Milan in 1982. It was one of the first postgraduate design schools in Italy. And obviously, at the time, it all revolved around Italian design and fashion. As you can see here, I have a few pictures going in the presentation. This man is Gianfranco Ferre, so he was our first fashion design director. Unfortunately, he passed away some years ago, but he definitely was a big influence for our academy in the past. He's very famous worldwide. So definitely was a very good influence in Domus Academy. At the moment, we have a scientific director, and our scientific director is Fabio Novembre. He is part of the students' life, so he participates giving lectures and leading some workshops. You may recognize him, an Italian architect and product designer. He is the one that I think you can recognize him because he did the chairs with the faces on. So just to let you know a little bit about what he did. The thing that is most famous for. But so sometimes, I counsel students in general, and the decision of a school, it's very difficult, and you have to think about what you're doing, obviously. So the question that I get the most is, why should I choose Domus Academy? Um, Definitely, there are a few positive, we have a lot of positive things that I would like to illustrate today. We have, first of all, we have a master's degree that are awarded and accredited by the Italian Ministry of Education. So guys, you will have the possibility of receiving a degree that is recognized in Italy, but also worldwide. Uh, Another important aspect of Domus Academy, and I will show you in how, let's say, in a few slides, is that our students have the possibility to customize their study plan in order to have that cross-disciplinary approach. We really have students coming from all over the world, and our students have very different backgrounds. And what we're looking at, when we select our students, when we get students, is their cross-disciplinary approach as much as possible. We like, obviously, the uniqueness of every student, but we try to help them to be as cross-disciplinary as it is possible. And I will show you, as I said to you before, in which way a little bit later. Another important aspect is that the master is very practical, and that's why we like to say that our students learn by designing. It's our methodology. The master is very much practical. This is something that we will see also more in details in the same slide that I was referring to the last point. But there is not a lot of theory. We give the basics, obviously, we give classes, but the best and the most important part of our master are the workshops. Another important aspect is that there is a final project that is included where our students can express themselves. Obviously, they will have a brief to follow, but it's their chance to shine, let's say. Definitely another aspect that in Domus Academy we value a lot is the connections that we have with brands and companies. So just keep in mind that every master has 4 workshops for 3 intakes that we have each year. So it's a lot of connection with the brand and the company. I will name a few of them also a little bit later, and I will explain to you how we interact and our students interact with the brand and the companies during this presentation. So the fact that we collaborate with a lot of brands and companies is something that really boosts the career of our students. Also because during the master, they have the possibility of doing a professional experience. So they will have the possibility to do an internship during the master. It's mandatory for all of our students, so 100% of our students do the, no, it's 100% of our students do the internship, sorry. And yeah, definitely another important aspect is the fact that we are located in Milan. That it's the world capital of fashion design. Our students really get inspired also just by walking in Milan. It's full of hidden gems that they're worth visiting, apart from the fact that in Milan there are always a lot of events that students are encouraged to attend. Okay, so I will be a little bit more specific on a few points that I touched before in the last slide. As you can see here, we divide our master in 5 modules. The first 4 modules that you see here are composed by 2 weeks of classes. So they are theoretical courses that give the basics to our students. But then the most, let's say, the biggest part of the master, as I said before, are the workshops. The workshops are usually from 4 to 8 weeks to 4 to 7 weeks. And depending on the master that you choose, 2 workshops are mandatory. So are mandatory for the students. For example, if you choose product design, you will have 2 mandatory workshops. While for the third module, our students have the possibility to choose. Here is when it comes into play the fact of the possibility for our students to customize their study plan. What they can do is they can put in a workshop from another master. So let's just say that we have a student that is interested in interior design, but has a strong interest also in having some skills also in the product design department. So what he will be able to do, or she will be able to do, she will be able to integrate, obviously, if she wants, and following her interests, and obviously following what she or he would like to do after the master, as a career. They can integrate different workshops. This is done, usually the study plan is done at the beginning of the year with the program leader of the master and the coordination office. They obviously listen to our students. They understand which path they would like to take after the master, where would they like to be, and they customize their study plan. The fourth module is the final project workshop. Is done individually, while the other workshops are done in small groups, usually from 2 to 5 people. Sorry. Okay, I'm back. How the workshop works, it's simple. We have collaboration with brands and companies for the workshops. We have a person or two coming from the company and the brand that we have the collaborations with. They give the brief, and the students in small groups, as said to you before, usually from 2 to 5 people, develop a project that they then will have to present to the people from the company and the brand. Um, you know, uh, I've seen some workshops in action, and let me tell you, it's very interesting to see what comes out of people that have different backgrounds, different ideas, different styles. That's the particularity then of having people coming from 41 different countries. So it's very interesting to see what the projects then come out to be. Um, Yes, this is for the workshops, for the first four modules. Then, as you can see at the end, we also have a module, the fifth module, that is a professional experience module, in which our students have three options. And I will explain to you a little bit what they are in a while. And at the end of the master, there is no thesis to write, there is just a final presentation. So our students will put together all the projects that they have developed during the year and during their path in Domus Academy, and they will get a mark on that. So regarding the professional experience I was talking about, as I said, we have three options. As you can imagine, our most popular option is the internship. So our students are, we have a very strong career service that helps our students find the internship. How it works is that the student expresses its interest on which role they would like to take in their career, and the career service helps them as much as possible, and yes, as much as possible, to find the best option, the best internship for them. The internship is at least 1 month and a half, but as you can imagine, sometimes internship last longer. So there is the possibility for our international students to stay in Italy 1 year more to finish their internship if they are still in the company they were doing the internship with, or just in general to find a job. So our students are helped to change their study visa to a job seeking visa, also, obviously for job seeking opportunities. The other two options are a little bit different. One is the field learning experience, in which our students work as a consultant for the company. So they do not work in the company, they work on campus, but obviously they get the info, the materials, and everything they need to know from the company. It's like being a consultant, in a few words, let's say. And the last option is the entrepreneur experience, in which the students that maybe have an idea of their own brand or their own company they would like to develop, they are helped to gain the business and managerial skills, usually for the startups. So I was mentioning a lot brands and companies all the time, but that's because they are really important and they are our biggest focus. Obviously, it's a master degree, so we help as much as possible our students to enter in the workplace as soon as possible. As you can see here, we have brands in the fashion department like Ferragamo, we have Timberland. We have had collaborations also with brands in the jewelry department like Dodo or Bulgari. We have collaborations with brands in the business department, Coca-Cola, Technogem. So as you can see, what I mean here is that the panorama is quite varied. Obviously, depends a lot on the master that you choose. We don't even have to say that, but the brands and the companies are a big part of our students' life. Apart from the workshops in which they are in content in constant sorry, I cannot say constant contact, that's it, with the brands and the companies. There is also the internship, obviously, but we also host a few events during the year that we call the career nights, in which our students are invited to bring their own CV and their CV and portfolio to show to the brands and the companies that are coming on campus. So it's a very good opportunity, and it's a very good spotlight for our students. Um, okay. If there are some questions, let me know because I cannot see the chat. Okay, so I will go on. This is our academic offering. We have 11 one-year master programs in the field of design, fashion, business, and experience. As I said to you before the beginning of this presentation, our masters are recognized by the Italian Ministry of Education. So at the end of their path in Domus Academy, our students receive 60 credits, and there is the recognition thanks to NABA. All the courses are held in English. So for us, it's very important to test our students' English level before entering. In fact, it is one of the requirements. Maybe will be a question after, but I will anticipate it. Usually we require at least an IELTS 5.0 for our students. Let me just go on. Okay, so here I have a, a presentation on a little bit of our programs, on all of our programs actually. So as I said to you before, there are 11 masters. And for example, in the area of design, we have the master in product design, the master in interior and living design, and the master in urban vision and architectural design. Let me be more specific here. So as you can imagine, these three masters are simple to explain in the sense they are what they say. So it's quite easy to explain. So the master in product design obviously combines a cross-disciplinary approach that is part of all of our masters actually. But there is a strong hands-on experience, always in collaboration with the companies that are part of the design, the engineering, and the business field. So what our students in product design do, they learn how to analyze the industry directions, they anticipate future trends, they explore new territories. Another important thing that I forgot to say actually is that our claim is that we are the most visionary postgraduate design school. What do we mean by that is that we work a lot towards what will come, what the future. So our projects are different and future oriented. So obviously they are real projects, but just to give you an example, for example, in the master in product design, we have a workshop that is the envisioning workshops that is different from the others in a sense that it touches social teams mostly, and it's about anticipating future trends and creating something that still maybe does not exist. So for us, it's very important. This is very what we focus a lot on. So as you can imagine here for product design, the career paths are quite simple to explain. Product designer, industrial designer, package designer, in product engineering, and product manager. Okay, so the second master that we have in the design field is the master in interior and living design. So our students in this master collaborate obviously with peers coming from all over the world and with companies having projects that are willing to reinvent the interior and living domain. So they obviously focus a little bit on theory, on the best practices, on the design methodologies, and obviously keeping in mind always social and practical concerns. Obviously, there is also a good study on the materials, on the furniture, and the lighting, and the new technologies that are emerging. They are part of the spaces. Here, the career paths are interior designer, exhibition designer, lighting designer, living designer, and space planner. The last master that we have in the design field is the master in urban vision and architectural design. So this master is quite particular in a sense that it does not focus only on the architectural side. There is also a study on the urban planning and also on designing of urban spaces. So as I said to you, explores architectural approaches, but also the opportunity to find new responses for the citizens and their cultures and their commerce and their relationship. Here, the career paths are obviously architect, architect assistant, urban planner, urban designer, project researcher, landscape architect, for example, and landscape designer. Okay, another actually important thing that I could say is that we also have some particular events more specific for the design area, sorry, and they are the design marathons, in which our students for 48 hours straight work on a single project, always with some companies involved. And for example, last year we had the design marathon with Google, and the year before, if I'm not mistaken, was with Reebok. And for example, the students that participated to the Google Marathon then saw their products that were placed in one of the most famous places in Milan, that is Piazza Gaiolenti. So it's a very good opportunity for our students to get noticed. Okay. So the second area that we have is the area in fashion, the fashion area. Here we have 3 masters still, the master in fashion design, the master in fashion management, and the last but not least, the master in fashion styling and visual merchandising. Okay, so the master in fashion design obviously combines the study of fashion with a strong intensive studio practice. So what they work with is textile manipulation, garment prototyping, branding, storytelling based on images. These are just the basics of the academic path. But here the career opportunities are quite simple to explain also. So fashion designer, accessory designer, textile designer, branding consultant, fashion entrepreneur, fashion journalist, trend researchers, and merchandiser. Obviously the career paths opportunities depend a lot also on the elective the workshop that you decide to put in the master. Yes, this I was forgetting. Another important event that we have during the year, once a year, is the Fashion Graduate Italia. So we have fashion schools giving the possibility to their fashion design students to showcase their own collection. So also you're the best fashion design students get to, show what they have created, and it's really nice to see what they come out with. So this, for example, are photos from the last fashion graduate that we had in October 2019, so the last October. Okay, then a second master in the fashion area, we have the master in fashion management that combines the study of fashion, obviously, with a good eye on the management side, um, more on the business side, let's say. So what they do is they try to respond to new customer trends. They try to generate brand awareness of a fashion line, of a product, and they manage the fashion collection from the conceptualization through the production and the distribution. Uh, our project in the fashion management department are always related to product development, merchandising, advertising, and fashion buying. Here, as you can see, the career paths are a little bit more than the other master, but just because obviously it focuses on 2 aspects, the fashion part and the business part. So we have the fashion brand manager, the fashion buyer, fashion merchandiser, product manager, brand strategist, event manager. Obviously, our students can decide to become also self-employed and run their own company, or decide to work for someone else. Okay, last but not least is the master in fashion styling and visual merchandising. Obviously, this program, as you can imagine from the title, blends the role of the visual merchandiser and the fashion stylist, trying to create a new professional that is capable of covering both positions. And the new, and having a new professional profile. So the visual fashion brand communicator that works on lookbooks, advertising campaigns, editorials, websites, social media, and retail in general. So what they do is they learn how to convey the brand values and the identity of the fashion collection, obviously basing everything on strong storytelling skills and visual merchandising strategies. Like, for example, the windows, just to do an example. So here the career opportunities are visual fashion brand communicator, fashion stylist, visual merchandiser, display designer, fashion show organizer, and a few other career opportunities. Okay, moving on to the business area, we have two masters, the master in business design and the master in luxury brand management. Okay, so the master in business design focuses on how to apply design thinking to a different, range of business models. We are talking about startups, but we're also talking about established enterprises. So what they do, our students do, they work on design-driven project management strategies. They draft plans for business development. They work on branding, on marketing, on communications, both for a whole company or for specific products in general. Here, the career opportunities are brand and communication strategist, entrepreneur, product manager, project manager, business development manager, in design. So the career paths here are a few very interesting ones. Another master, the other master in the business area is the master in luxury brand management. That it's similar to the master in fashion management, but as you can imagine, obviously, fashion focuses only on and works only with fashion brands, while the master in luxury brand management works only with high-end brand. So that's the difference. For luxury, we sometimes work with companies in the fashion industry, but also in the jewelry, restaurants, hotels. So the panorama is, let's say, bigger, because obviously it doesn't focus just on a single aspect. Here, the career opportunities are brand and communication strategist, entrepreneur, product manager, project manager, and a few other career opportunities related to business, so business consultant, business development manager. Okay, so the last area that we have, that it's something we strongly believe in because it's an emerging field, is the experience area. And here we also have three masters. We have the master in interaction design, the master in service design, and the master in visual brand design. So sometimes a little bit difficult to explain because it's a little bit less intuitive, let's say. But what the master in interaction design is about creating a product, a service, or a space that people interact with through an interface that is visual and tactile. So what our students learn to do is how to adopt digital technology to create new experiences that are obviously enriched experiences. So what we encourage our students to do is to transform their design visions into a market opportunity. Here, the career paths revolve around UX and UI designer, so user experience designer and user interface designer, as well as visual designer or digital strategist. Okay. The second master that we have is the master in service design, that is meant to promote storytelling and prototyping skills, as well as a strong approach to problem solving and business design to help our students develop new service ideas. So what they do is they observe the users, they study the users, and they try to detect the customer's need, and they develop physical and virtual system of the experience of the service, and they work obviously as all of our master in close contact with professionals from private and public organizations. Here the career opportunities are service designer, UX and UI designer, design strategist and researcher, interaction design, and coder. Last master of the 11 that we have is the master in visual brand design that aims to create visual brand designers that are dynamic and versatile. Also, it aims to create brand managers who are open to visionary innovations. So what they do, the students, is they learn to identify the philosophy of the company they're working with. They cultivate a strong and deep understanding of the products, of the services, and they try to design new ways to communicate these values and their story to the customers through obviously social media or physical or digital medias. The career opportunities here are visual brand designer, brand manager, brand strategist, graphic designer, UX designer, user interface designer, and product strategist. Okay, so the masters are the one that I illustrated to you. I have a big parenthesis to do here, is that our alumni, we have an alumni, let's say web, and we have it's a master degree, so we have a very good employment rate that is 95% within 1 year graduation. And some of our students maybe decided to open their own company, their own brand, or someone is working in big companies like Condé Nast, like Whirlpool, and more. Another important data that I can show you is that students coming out from Domus Academy have a net income of 45% more than students coming from other universities in Italy. And as I said to you before, there is the possibility for extra European students to work in Italy after the graduation and to stay in Italy 1 year more. In this case, we help our students, so there is no need for them to go back to their country and then come back to Italy again. They can do everything directly from here. So my presentation is finished. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I've been clear enough. Let me just, okay, I'm still sharing my screen, I imagine. Okay, so I don't know if there are some questions, or maybe Davide, there's something that I forgot to say.
No, for me it was absolutely fine, but I want to have a question from the participants, because obviously for us it's quite easy to understand the Domus Academy. But again, as Paula said, the structure of Domus Academy is quite unique. On our claim, we say that Domus Academy is the most visionary postgraduate school. So, and in which way we can be visionary? As Paula said, we have a lot of workshops with industries, and this is a win-win situation, because it's not that it's Domus Academy that is searching for industries for this kind of cooperation. Generally, it's vice versa. Are industries that they are asking to Domus Academy to create a workshop. So the brief generally is made together with our program leaders and the industries, because obviously it should remain inside the academic path. But just in this way, industries, they want to cooperate with Domus Academy, because creating workshops with students that are coming from different backgrounds and from different cultures, Just in this way, the output of the workshop can be really visionary. And this is an amazing point to underline related to Domus Academy academic structure. Another point that I want to underline, being a master programs, we want to teach also our students also the soft skills. So the ability to manage their time, the ability to work with other people, so to work in a group, the ability to respect the deadline. We are trying to recreate a working environment, a design studio inside our school. And that's the reason very often we leave the students the possibility to manage their time. That means that the majority of the time they are under stress, because this is the real life, this is the reality, the working environment. And our program leaders, our teachers, they love to, let me go back. Generally, universities, they are teaching how to solve the problems. So they are problem solving, let me say, based. In Domus Academy, we don't, obviously, at the end, we had to find a solution to the problems. But we are problem settings, because when we are with the companies, we had to make the companies aware about the fact that could be other problems. So this is our approach, which is more problem setting than problem solving. So it's completely different than, let me say, a normal university. Again, very practical, very practical. Don't know, guys, if you have questions.
Sorularınız varsa alabiliriz arkadaşlar. İngilizce ya da Türkçe iletebilirsiniz. Yardımcı olabilirim. Sorumuz yok mu?
Also from your colleagues, I've seen someone connected, so I don't know if they have questions. Thank you very much, Nuri.
No question at all. Sorularınız varsa alabiliriz. Katılımcı arkadaşlarımız, sunumun başında da belirttiğim gibi webinar sonrasında en yakın şube tarafından size ulaşılacak. Ekstra sorularınız oluşursa bu süre zarfında onları da sorabilirsiniz. Keza webinarlarımız devam edecek. Hatta webinarlarımızı YouTube kanalımıza da yükleyeceğiz. Hani sunum esnasında kaçırdığınız noktalar olursa YouTube üzerinden de Academix'in official YouTube hesabına girdiğinizde de webinar kayıtlarını, bugünkünü ve şimdiye kadar olanları ve haftaya kadar olacak olanları da YouTube kanalımızda bulabilirsiniz. Davide and Paula, really thank you very much for your precious time. And I guess it was very fruitful for all the participants. And I guess we will be looking forward to hear from some more good news about Italy. The situation is stabilizing in Turkey, is getting even better day by day. But hopefully everything will be back by this September intake, I guess.
Yes, that's the main reason we decided. If you remember, till last year we had 3 intakes, one at beginning of September and another one end of October. That's the reason for this intake, this October, we decided to merge the 2 intakes together. So right now we have just one master starting, one intake, sorry, starting 28th of October. And we did it because we think that end of October, the situation will be absolutely better. And then the next one will be next year, 2021, in February. So I know that the situation in Turkey is improving, and we hope to have all the students back in school in October.
We also hope so. Let's get fingers crossed. Really good luck.
Yes, sure.
Thank you very much. If you have anything that you should add on top, and feel free. And other
I want just to explain to the participants that Academix is our partner in the Turkish market. So guys, if you have any other question related to Domus Academy, feel free to ask directly to them. They are in contact with us. So any kind of specific questions, feel free to ask directly to Academix. They have offices everywhere in Turkey. So I miss Turkey, guys, really very much.
we are also missing the events. Hopefully all will be back soon and we will continue our internal events with the physical participation in the hotel or the academics offices.
Yes, right.
Again.
So guys, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Have a nice day. Ciao.
Have a nice day. Bye.
Ciao. Ciao, ciao.